Hey Notable, it's Christina Cheng and I'm a creative entrepreneur. We are currently at Soho House Toronto. It is basically a members only club for creatives around the world. It's just a vibe in here. I love the ambiance of it. You can connect the dots with other like-minded people. And because I travel so often for work and play, I always have a house globally wherever I go. My son was 10 when he had the idea to start his own brand, and he didn't know where he wanted to go with it. All he knew was he wanted to give back to less fortunate youth in his class. I always had my son into flyest J's, the flyest kicks, and whatever dropped. From his perspective, his other friends just weren't as fortunate. So automatically, I think at 10, he said, I want to start my own brand, but I want to give back. And so already the brand ethos and why was acts of service, was philanthropy, was a social kind of enterprise angle. And so from there, it started YUTE Inc. And now it's a creative agency / creative studio. From 10 to now he's 18, we found the sweet spot of how can we give back to other youth, creative youth. And that is YUTE Studio. I am a woman of color and I fought my way through these spaces. Now I feel like I'm in this opportunity to alley-oop the opportunities to the future and connect the dots and make it easy for them to get in these rooms, to flip desks, to shake the room. That's really important from the internal side to the external side, that we are identifying youth of color and giving them opportunities. So YUTE Inc., YUTE Studio does have 3 pillars: play, philanthropy, and product. And that was really just listening to the Gen Zs. What kind of storytelling do they want to do with these brands, with these clients? And so play is our creative studio, and playground that falls under it is the services that the youth provide through play. And then philanthropy is we always give back to a youth organization, or we give back to the youth that we actually hire through experiences, through pay, internships, whatever it might be. When it comes to product, it was never intended to be a clothing brand at all. We just wanted to drop one collection just to put our brand and our name out there and have these youth kind of running around and rocking it. Now that we are a creative agency, when we work with clients, let's just put an example and say Nike, right? So now Nike's tapping into play as a creative agency, and now naturally they're giving back through philanthropy, through hiring the youth to do their campaign. And then it's like, hey, what if we did a small collection of Nike times youth, and then now that's product. So maybe it's a small run where we sell it at Foot Locker, and a portion of those sales will now go back to youth organizations. So it's kind of like an intertwined kind of business model where it's kind of bulletproof, to be honest. It's a clear, transparent conversation that I have with client of what's the storytelling here, who's our audience, and is there going to be some sort of impact? Is it on brand for me? If it's something that's completely left wing and the money might be amazing, I'm likely going to say no. Or I challenge the client and say, okay, cool. How can we turn something that's fluffy into something meaningful so that the messaging is the focus point, and then after the fact, it's like, wait, but who's behind it? Oh, that's crazy. I would never think that a brand like this would talk about something like this. So now I'm more so challenging the conversation and challenging the way that these brands and corporations think. Sure, I can sell something fluffy, but I want something of impact. So how can we combine that too, if you really want me? Well, I live with a Gen Z, so that works. They've definitely shifted the way that I think now. And I say they because I feel like I have so many sons, because even though I have one, all his homies are always over 24/7. They do really put me on where things are going. What are they working on? The conversations that they're having. I kind of have the cheat codes with what's next. They force me to now be a futurist in the way that I think and the way that I even pitch brands or work with brands or work on projects. They're entrepreneurs themselves. Right now, my son and his friends are really into music. So they're pulling all-nighters, producing beats. I try to incorporate their beats into the video so that it is still original music. They have the rights. Everything's going back to them. And so it's a win-win. So I really try to keep it in-house with giving back to the youth. And now they can say, hey, my music was on this campaign powered by YUTE Studio. And that's pretty fire. Internships, experience, game changer. The one that really broke me into like the space and challenged me was Global News. I believe I was their first intern, and they said, hey, this is your internship, you run with it. You can use our name, but whatever you want out of it for the next 3 months is on you. And I was like, damn, okay. And from there, I was able to use Global News and say, hey, I'm an intern with Global News. I want to cover this. And so I covered all of Fashion Week. From there, I earned their trust. And they said, hey, Christina, can we have you now cover the Grammys, now cover the Oscars? I've never been in these spaces before, front row anywhere, covering these, big stories within pop culture. And they gave me that freedom to explore. And from there, a lot of people that I connected with and built rapport with through the PRs, I'm still cool with. And so we still kind of feed each other work. Through YUTE Studio, it's, hey, instead of having to feel the pressure of picking up a weapon to survive, you can pick up a camera and survive and make change for yourself and make money that way. And so that is really our angle is, hey, let's give you a safe outlet. Let's give you opportunities. Let's put you in rooms you never thought you could because you're born into this system that forces you to think that you're not capable of being in certain rooms. So YUTE Studio now can put you in these rooms, work with cool brands that you even wear and you never thought that was possible. It's really shifting the perspective for youth and even at the playing field and being like, hey, I grew up in the hood. For me to be where I am now, where I've been working towards while living in a marginalized community, it's possible. And so I'm fighting for other people of color, especially our future, to say, hey, you don't have to listen to that noise. Listen to the noise that's even louder where success is, where you can put yourself on the right path. It's just bet on yourself, take a leap of faith, and also reach out to people. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Before I go to any trip, I do my research, I reach out to people I want to connect with, book those meetings, make sure they're locked into both our calendars, and it happens, and magic just happens from there. And the more that you reach out to people saying, hey, I'm in your city, the more inclined they are to be like, oh, cool, yeah, let's grab a coffee. And then from that, you never know what's going to happen. It always works in your favor if you just trust the process, take the leap of faith in yourself. Blessings tenfold will just naturally happen. All right, Notable, that is the end here for now, but make sure to follow me. You can find me at Christina G. Cheng on Instagram, across socials. Also, show love to YUTE at YUTE.studio. The youth over there are doing crazy, amazing things. Keep alley-ooping opportunities to them. Let's keep, a safe space for them to create and grow and be successful. They're the future.